It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of good fortune must be in want of a wife. Pride and Prejudice is a movie adaptation of Jane Austen's 1813 classic literary work. Throughout the movie, there are many class conflicts that are presented that create tension within the characters. In pre-industrial England, how you acquired your wealth was how your social class was defined, rather than just your wealth by itself. The Bennet family's wealth is heavily dependent on each one of the 5 daughters marrying. In this time period, fathers would heavily encourage that their daughters marry well so that their futures could be secure. The upper class rarely ventured outside of their own class or social circles. Relationships in this time were determined by wealth and class, rather than marrying for love.
This union has been planned since their infancy. Do you think it can be prevented by a young woman of inferior birth?
Though an eligible bachelor is presented to Elizabeth, she refuses because she has a carefree, stubborn, and independent nature. She does not want to settle down and especially doesn't want to marry just to marry. If she were to marry, she would marry for love, not for money or status.
I am honored by your proposal, but I regret that I must decline it.
Similar to her father, Elizabeth turns her nose up at the conventional views of class and society. She rejects most of the ideals that society believes are right or normal. One of the main themes in this movie is that previous prejudices toward people of a certain class influence the lives of those around them and their decisions. Elizabeth Bennet spends most of her time throughout the movie judging Mr. Darcy because of his initial attitude toward her. She pushes him away because of that, and her prejudice continues to be an issue throughout the movie.
But her sister Elizabeth is very agreeable.
Perfectly tolerable, I dare say. Not handsome enough to tempt me.
Even though Mr. Darcy was not seen to have the best character or manners, he was still seen as highly desired for a husband. This was due to his fortune and social class standing. Mr. Darcy was a very prideful man, which mostly came from the amount of money that he had. Near the end of the movie, Elizabeth starts to give out her prejudice and lets her pride fall away. She discovers that most of the things she believed about Mr. Darcy and his decisions were false or misunderstood. She starts to see Mr. Darcy's true character more and comes to forgive his pride because of her love for him. A lot of people found it wrong to mix classes in this time period. For instance, Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth getting married was not socially acceptable, which is why the movie is centered around class conflicts. Mr. Darcy's sincere love and compassion for Elizabeth break through the stereotypes of class relationships of the time.
You have bewitched me, body and soul, and I love, and love, and love you.